Hello, heroes. This is episode 11 of the Tuesday Tournament Reviews. In this series, I have a guest who brings me a tournament, and we go through all the questionable hands together. This week's guest is a fellow streamer from the Netherlands, Questje. Welcome on board.
Yo, welcome. Hi.
How are you?
Adjusting my camera a bit. You zoomed me in a bit, I guess.
Yeah, like move it a little bit down. Yeah, there it goes.
Okay, let me fix this. Yeah, in Discord I look fine, but here it was zoomed in.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's perfect. Nice head, by the way.
Okay. Yeah, thanks.
All right.
Awesome. Hi, everybody.
Yeah, could you tell us a little bit about yourself? Like, where from, when you met poker? What's your hobby? What's your profession? What are your goals?
Oh, that's a lot of questions.
Yeah, let's start with the with the beginning.
I discovered poker on the campus of the university in Enschede in the Netherlands. That's in 2003, so that's 18 years ago. Holy shit. A little bit of the moneymaker effect, I guess. And we played, for dollars, for euros, just for fun with friends for years. That's how it started. You get, I thought it was a fun game, and yeah, I've played online. I think on Stars for like 15 years maybe, and I consider myself recreational for most of it.
Huh?
And since last year, apparently since lockdown was good for me. In that sense, because we started streaming since March last year, so that's now 10 months ish. And since then, I've been playing really much more poker, taking it more seriously. The MTT grind on PokerStars, basically.
What did you study
Yeah.
in university?
Yeah, I did study computer science.
Oh, so you're a programmer, coder?
I am also a software engineer. Yes.
Oh, okay. Maybe we may need you on Check the Side one day.
Yeah, maybe we can talk about that. I would maybe be interested. Yeah, I was waiting to bring that up at some point, but.
Okay. So, do you have any experience with other forms of poker than MTT, like PLO? I know a lot of guys in the Netherlands just love PLO. It's a big PLO
Okay, yeah,
country.
no, not really. I played it a bit for fun. Sometimes in cash games with friends, now it's PLO round or something, and we fucked around a bit. Sorry for my language. But yeah, not really. I've never studied PLO or any mixed games. I won a Paduki tournament on Stars, by the way.
Oh,
but it was just pure luck.
It's quite an accomplishment, yeah.
It's like 2 years ago or something.
Do you play any live?
Not at the moment, of course. I played a bit. Oh, my telephone is doing the stream. Mute, thank you. I've played in the casino in Enschede a bit for like a year. Cash games. Yeah, very soft. So we made some profit, but yeah, I never did it professional or something, just for fun.
All right. Today we are going to go through your hot PKO. Like, was this also a turbo tournament or just hot?
Yeah, turbo 2, yeah.
Yeah. My first note would be that maybe like if you are a professional or you want to make steady profit, this is probably not the format you would like to grind a lot, because like it's quite a turbo structure, and also with the bounties, many of the decisions are very automatic, so you just want to push it in and hope for the best, and probably your edge is not super huge in this format. But obviously, as a streamer, this is a great format, fun format. You can knock out guys, you can collect a lot of bounties, and it also ends pretty soon. So yeah, it's completely fine. I'm just here to make some notes, and this would be my first one. Yeah, but
I don't play turbos only. It's like I play also the slow structured tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, usually if you're streaming for like 2-3 hours, then you don't want to register more very slow tournaments.
Yeah,
so it's always nice to add some turbos then at the last part. So yeah.
Yeah, like
that's what I usually do.
Yeah, for example, in my career, I played, I don't know, like 40,000 tournaments, and almost half of them were turbo tournaments, and the turbo tournaments altogether, they created like 10% of my overall profit. So it's not hard to
Okay.
imagine that had I left all those turbo tournaments and just focused a little bit better on my regular tournaments, that I could have made more money. So you have to be very conscious, like how you create, how you plan your schedule, because this is one of the like biggest skills in poker. You know.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Table selection, game selection. To be honest, I don't really pay much attention to it, so that's a good advice, I guess.
Yeah.
I usually just join whatever I can join within the 11 and 33 buy-in range.
Yeah, I grinded for like at least 10 years without ever having a thought about it, like just registering any tournament on stars where I thought I had some slight edge at least. And this is probably not the best way to go. You have to be very conscious. And obviously, another important note is that the width of your buying range should be as narrow as possible if you want to avoid the big swings. Because
Yeah.
if you play with like very low stakes tournaments and mid stakes and high stakes tournaments as well, then you almost inevitably going to run into huge swings. And because normally
Makes sense.
the few huge tournaments you play, they determine they set you your expectation for like how you run in those big tournaments. They determine how you are going to whether you are going to make profit or not in that year. Yeah. So
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
you uploaded this tournament to Check the Site and you sent it to me. And yeah, in case you don't know me, for starters, I'm the founder of Check the Site. CheckTheSite.com is a like freemium tool to upload full tournaments, share full tournaments, and compare decisions. So for example, as this tournament is public, I just visited your profile, I opened this tournament, and I started reviewing it. And whenever there was a decision, I had to make this. I faced the same action buttons as you did when playing the hand. So, for example, here I make a small raise, and this matched your decision. And
Woohoo!
yeah, so we have a smiley face here, and on the flop, yeah, it's very questionable. Like, obviously, this is not a terrible flop to c-bet because it's quite dry. Many times this small blind will not connect to the low cards, only the king, but also on the other hand, the small blind calling range is somewhat narrow. So I'm not sure whether we are going to have enough fold equity, and with the Queen of Spades and Seven of Spades, we are blocking many of the auto folds of the opponent. So it's very borderline. Maybe a 1/3 or 1/4 pot c-bet works well enough here, but I think it's probably better to just check here, which didn't match your decision. So you can see this sad like so
Disagrees
sparkish.
in sadness.
Yeah. And yeah, how is that guy called in South Park, the worrying guy with
Well, I'm not a big South Park fan,
whatever.
so
Then never mind. So I think probably a check is a little bit better,
someone in
but
chat will notice. Someone in chat will notice.
okay. Yeah, let's see who we have in the chat.
Yeah, it's pretty busy. I was really surprised. Welcome, everybody.
Yeah.
It's all my regulars from my channel. That's very cool to see.
How can I roll back the chat? Like scroll back.
Yeah, I have this chat window on the side. I can scroll it up.
Oh, okay.
We have Chiswell, we have Mr. Carps, we have Moose, Peter, Tarnum, Dave. Cool stuff.
Oh, okay. Like, yeah, they're quite new to my to my stream, so I guess they are members of the Airhorn army. Are they?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right. Welcome to the stream. If you have any question or you just disagree with what I'm saying, or you want to share your experience with tournaments or with this exact situation, just feel free to type. Yeah, Airhorn Army is pretty strong. I see. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
By the way,
Well, I hope they learned something as well.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, like this spot is definitely very close against weaker guys who you expect to call here with hands like from the small blind with hands like ace6 of suit or ace7 of suit, and they fold on this texture. Then I guess c betting small is fine. Against stronger guys, I would go with a check. The hand always goes according to your decision because we just cannot predict what would have happened. And we compare the decisions, as you can see. Below the replayer, there is a progress bar going on indicating where we matched and where we dismatched.
mhm.
And yeah, on the turn, I think if we barreled, we have a lot of hands to barrel here, but also the ace is not as great a card to barrel here as it first looks, because your opponent will have a lot of hands like ace5, ace tray, ace deuce, ace 4, and also hands like ace 10, ace jack if they didn't 3-bet, especially in the low stakes tournaments where they played a little bit more passively. If they had ace 10 with the 10 of clubs, or ace of clubs or something like that, then they can easily like pick up a top par on the turn, and then you will never ever fold them out, obviously. Yeah, and I also expect them to sometimes rejam pre-flop hands like 7s and 8s in a bounty tournament with a bigger stack against 50 big blinds. So that's another reason not to barrel here, because they will not 100% have those hands. So I think I would once again go with the more passive line, which may be surprising. And
Well, I did barrel. Okay, I didn't even remember. Yeah.
yeah, like it's very easy to over barrel this turn, but
Yeah.
given the circumstances, I'm not sure it is fantastic, because I don't see like normally these kind of barrels are very profitable in situations where your opponent has a lot of flop second pair, which are turned to like third pair on the turn. But this is not the case here. Like many times, rather they just turn the top pair with or two pairs, etc. So yeah, I have a lot of. On the other hand, I have a lot of like very natural barrels here, like some flush draws and some gut shots, etc. So I
Yeah,
think
we have nothing. Nothing connects to the board. So yeah.
so I think it's a little bit better to play this passively, but whatever, not a huge mistake, that's for sure. And we matched the fold on the turn, which is great.
Yes. I think I was done with the hand there. Yeah.
All right, so this is how it goes with check decide. The big advantage of this format is that I don't have to type any. I can just click the hand through very quickly. I use this for my private students, so they just share a tournament with me, or a package of marked hands they had headache with, and I click them through very quickly. Normally I can click through like 200 hands per hour or something like that, which is miles faster than any earlier format. So this is how it went. And if we open the multibar, this is a very important element of the project. Then you can select, for example, my name or any other user's name, and you can see my match percentages compared to the original player, which is you. So we will only discuss the hands where we disagreed, and this is once again a way to save time and be more efficient with studying. So we don't need to discuss auto folds or hands where we had a monster and it was pretty obvious how to play it. But we are going to discuss all the hands with like lower than 80% match or something like that. We can also see like which hands you marked as key hands. So when you open the tournament on your profile, visitors have an option to just go through the 25 hands which you marked as key hands. but I normally recommend this intermediate filter because these hands contain like this filter lives in all the hands where you were in the small blind or big blind, even if you didn't put money in the pot into the pot, just to check whether you overfold your big blind or overfold your small blind, and also any hand where you actively put money into the pot, and also if you had a strong or medium strength holding, and you fold it to an open raise, those hands also get in. So if you had like queen jack of suit and there was an open raise before you, these hands are normally included. Yep, we can go with the intermediate filter, which lives in 125 hands, and then selecting my name, we can see which hands we should discuss. So the second hand is once again a hand which we probably should. And yeah, like normally this is a fine open in a non-bounty tournament, but are you familiar with the calculation of bounty, like how many chips they represent? We don't hear you. You are muted. You are still muted. 1 2 1 2, or maybe I'm just, there is something with my voice. Could you talk a little bit? We just don't hear you. Should I recall you? Yeah, Questje is muted. The chat says. Okay, I'm recalling you. So, hello there. Do you hear me? I don't hear you. Okay, some technical difficulty. Maybe I would just talk about the hand, and feel free to interrupt me whenever you can.
Is it fixed now?
Okay,
Hello?
yeah, it's fixed now.
Cool. I went to settings and just re-enabled the same webcam. Cool.
Okay, so are you? My question was, are you familiar with how the bounty is calculated to like chip value?
I have seen the mat, but I don't remember it out of my head. So I know about it.
Okay,
But, feel free to explain.
Yeah, like there has been some debate like how exactly it should be calculated. There are some minor details which there is still some kind of argument going on, but a very good rule of thumb is that the like the basic bounty, which is $10 in your tournament, represents 30% of the starting stack in the early stages. So as the starting stack was 5,000, right? Here, 30% of the 5,000 is 1,500. The original bounty, the $10 bounty, whenever you see $10 or someone's head, it represents 1,500 chips. So that's basically like dead money in the pot for anyone who can actually knock out that player. So in your case, you're raising with 1,500 chips dead money on your head. So if you are if you are up against some competent players, they will have much wider stack of ranges against you because there is a lot of dead money in your head compared to your chip stack. So they can three bet call with much wider ranges against you than normally they would. And this also means that they can implement a lot more bluff three bets against you, because their ranges will be balanced still with a much wider value range than normally they use. So for this reason, in a competent, aggressive field, this open will not make you profit most likely, because the
Okay,
other
makes sense.
the other guys will three bet the shit out of you, really. So, but in the low stakes tournaments, this is probably not an issue. I just wanted to like remind you like how this looks like, and also if you are in the position of like the button who covers you, or this guy Ramrob who also covers you, they can three bet call basically probably any pocket pair against you, and like much wider with the ace x hands than they normally would. So even like ace 10 suited, ace 9 suited, ace 5 suited, I can imagine being a profitable 3-bet call. Ace 5 suited is probably a little bit extreme, but ace 10 suited is definitely good enough to 3-bet and go with it if necessary. And the big benefit of this, as I mentioned, is that if you have such wide value 3-bet, then you can implement a lot more bluff 3-bets like ace 7 off or ace deuce suited, or whatever you want to. So
Yeah, and it's hard for us to defend against that, of course.
yeah, it's really hard. So when you are short stack with a relatively big bounty on your head, you just have to tighten up from the later position. You can implement some open limping as well, just to reduce the risk reward ratio for your opponents when they are thinking about running a big wrist steal on you. But from this position, you just have to tighten up a little bit and not open this hand. But if you are up against like passive guys who never ever consider three betting you light here, then it's a perfectly fine open. So as many times in poker, you have to adjust to your opponents.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in game I didn't feel that short, but it is relative, of course.
Yeah,
31
like
blind.
yeah. In normally in a vanilla tournament, you don't need to vary too much with the 30 big blind stack from mid,
Yeah,
mid
indeed. But
position.
in bounties it's different. Yeah.
Yeah, because the bounties add up almost half of your stack. So that if you do the math, you can see that they can like rejam probably 40% against you profitably. In many cases, maybe even more. Yeah. On this flop, this what do you think about this flop with the big blinds supposed range?
Yeah, when I look at it, I think it looks good for the big blind, right?
Yeah, quite a
So
lot.
they can check raise and check call. There's a lot there, I guess.
Yeah, I think like checking back really wide here is a good strategy. I actually ran some simulations, and even if you check behind your whole range here, they cannot really take advantage of that, even if they know what you are doing. But if you
Oh, wow.
do that and going really hardly against the population tendencies, they will normally play as you would be one of the unknown guys, if they don't know that your strategy is checking back your whole range. And I can imagine them making huge mistakes against you if you check behind really strong hands here as well. So that's an option, especially for like high ICM situations where you don't want to get into like flippish situations. Then it's completely fine to check behind even your entire range, or just c bet some hands like tens and jacks, which really need the protection, and check back the rest of your range. That's great, because big blind has a lot of like strong draws, like relatively strong draws, like 8-7, 6-7, and also offsuit straights like 7-5 of suit, 10-7 of suit. Those are probably in his range for a min raise.
Yeah, we don't have those, of course.
Yeah, and he also has 6-8, 9-6. Almost surely he calls with that, and 9-8. So all the two pairs he has, but we don't. Maybe in suited format, but very few of them. So this is not a fantastic board to see bet. I would definitely check behind this one.
Yeah, makes sense. I think I bet, but that's why we learn.
Yeah. You have to be very careful with the c bets on this texture, especially with a huge bounty on your head, and him having a lot of, like, if he has 6-7 of suit here and you show your aces with the big bounty on your head, he's very, very happy to take it, check jam, and play that kind of flip, which flip equity he has with pair plus open ender. So you mainly want to check behind here, and
Cool.
with this one, it is even possible that he had a weaker hand, like Queen 10, Jack 10, or Queen Jack. Those kind of hands are very, very likely to check jam as well, especially against someone who see bets too much. So yeah, but this is,
That's me. They shoot probably.
So this was definitely an important situation, because normally if you want to improve very efficiently, you have to focus on the very basic steps. Like obviously it's very sexy to discuss a river check raise situation, or a triple barrel, or some kind of crazy move you made, but those are very rare moves. So your profit will depend on these kind of basic decisions, like what to open, what to 3-bet, what to c-bet, what not to c-bet. These kind of decisions will determine your profit on the long run, and the rest is only for your fans, like to brag, like what gangster move I made, but they will not do too much with your profit. All right, let's see.
I see a couple of 100% in a row. That's always nice to see.
Yeah. Probably 7 use of suit under the gun, or
Hey, it's a good play.
I'm just kidding. Like this kind of format, although it's efficient, I experienced that it puts some like mental burden on some of my students, who they are seeking for some kind of like accomplishment, or like good words, or what is it called in English when you say, hey, you play this great, and what's the right word?
I don't know. Sorry.
Probably accomplishment, but whatever. Yeah. They are hungry to hear some great some praises. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
And in this format, we only discuss their mistakes. So sorry.
Pat on the shoulder. Yeah. Clap.
Yeah. So, but it definitely saves a lot of time. So they should pay me 2x more hours, and then I can praise them. All right.
They shoot.
Okay.
Yeah, the King 4 offsuit, I think it's interesting. Maybe it's just a plain mistake, but
yeah, like this may sound strange, but this is quite a clear call in this situation, because what do you think his pushing range should be in this spot?
Yeah, very wide. Did I fold in game? Cool.
Yeah. You folded, but I think it's a very clear call, because given the relatively big bounty on your head, like it's just standard bounty, but compared to your stack, it's huge. So he's risking like 2,400, and there is 1,500 dead money on your head. So in this situation against an 11 BB big blind, I guess he has to push any two, or very, very close to any two.
Yeah.
So this is a pretty happy call.
Very clear call.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I don't remember what I thought at the moment. Maybe I was six tabling, and
it happens a lot. Yeah.
Important to look at the specific situation, of course. But
yeah, but for example, this 10 use of suit must have been a fantastic fold, but
Yeah. The Doyle.
yeah. All right, the next one is Queen 5 of suit on your head, and he limps. Very fine check. And on this flop, yeah, like this may also sound strange, but first of all, people tend to over c-bet this texture. I ran some simulations on this, and even on the greatest flops, greatest textures in limp pots, small blind versus big blind, they should bet like around 50% of the times. And many players, as they don't face enough resistance from the big blind, and they tend to see bet their entire range on this texture, which is completely fine because the big blinds generally overfold. And I also make range c bet on this texture in this situation because big blinds just overfold way too much. One thing I wanted to mention is that you have to call and you have to raise a lot, you have to call a lot, even if you don't really have too many king x combinations. The few king x you have, you mainly want to raise. And also you want to raise some hands which block some of the draws he could rejam with, but mainly you just want to call a lot, even on this texture. And this is probably a hand you have to call. You get fantastic odds, and more importantly, this queen blocks some of the barreling hands he could have, like queen 9 or queen 8, and picks up a gutshot on the turn, or just random queen x and picks up a gutshot on the 9 turn or whatever. So these kind of barreling hands you block with the queen.
Yeah,
With the queen of diamond, you may still want to fold, but like this is like quite advanced and abstract theory. But if this was if this was the queen of clubs or queen of hearts or queen of spades, then this would be much more of a call, because it would not only block his potential straight draws on the turn, but only would block his potential backdoor flush draws getting there on the turn. So that's why you often have to make calls, floats in this situation with hands which don't have the backdoor flush draw, but block some of the backdoor flush draw, which could be picked up on the turn by the small blind. So quite crazy theory, and indeed you have to.
I follow it, but it's hard to think about it in game every time, I guess.
Yeah.
But the next step.
But one thing to take away from this situation is that whatever hand you feel a little bit love for in this situation, in the big blind, and even hands you don't really feel love, but some kind of sympathy for in this spot, you just have to continue in some way. Even just like small raising from time to time can work against most of the guys, because like they will have a very hard time defending against 1100 raise. They will just fold their 10-8 of suit or something like that, which could sometimes barrel you on a 7 turn or whatever. Yeah, that's a point. You just have to be extremely sticky in these spots, and especially on low texture. Some small blinds tend to see bet close to range on textures like 8-5-4 and stuffs like that, or 8 trade use, where you have all the 8 use, 8 trade use offsuit combinations. There you definitely want to raise the shit out of them for this behavior. Like you just have to be extremely aggressive on low boards, and even on high boards you just have to be quite sticky. So I would probably call, but it's not a mistake by any means to
So yeah,
fold.
Queen High has more showdown value than I anticipated, I guess.
Yeah, but like we are
And
not
also blip
necessarily
opportunity.
going to show this down. Sometimes we will,
Hmm.
if it goes like quite neutrally, like a deuce on the turn and some random river card, then we can show this down. Sometimes we can turn this into a bluff on a 9 turn probably, and yeah. But we just want to continue. We get great odds, and we have some blockers to his potential turn barrels. So that's the
More sticky in heads up pots. I'm remembering that.
yeah. All right. Um, for your health, whatever you thought you I checked your stream and
Oh yeah, I'm drinking coffee.
okay.
It's a bit early for me, but
Yeah.
maybe after my coffee I can grab a beer to
Yeah,
cheers you.
later in your stream. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm planning to go live after this myself. So
Yeah, sure. All right, let's see the next one.
yeah,
Now you are one of the bigger stacks, and you decided to open this. My initial reaction was to fold here, but I can live with this. Probably a good one. These guys will be very very tight with their regems because they don't expect too many folds from you. You have some
it felt
blocker.
like a loose open, but yeah, still borderline probably.
Yeah. No, it's probably fine. Like as I mentioned, I very quickly clicked through your tournament, so I didn't stop for every spot. And after I realized that hey, actually this is probably a fine open given the circumstances, I didn't want to like correct it just to just to look better. So yeah, I didn't pay enough attention, that's for sure, and probably an okay open because this guy will not flat you ever basically. Yeah,
Hmm.
the other guy regems. Then I think you still have an easy fold. Yeah.
Mr. Carbs is ready for my stream. He has a lot of beers. Good to know. Good to know. Cheers.
All right. Okay, the next one is 10-7 of suit on the big blind.
Oh yeah,
And
I remember this.
yeah, and you just it was not so memorable, but
Yeah, I
yeah.
remember looking at it in the replay at least.
Okay. So this is
Then I
a
fucked up my comment.
this is very
I
very
thought I
fine.
called, and yeah, but
Yeah.
I did called.
I will show you like how you should react to a button open 20 big blinds versus the button. From the big blind you should call something like this. I'm not sure if it's big enough, like I'm trying to zoom in a
I
little
can
bit.
see it ish. Yeah.
Yeah, but what you can see that you only have to fold the really crappiest combinations like 3 use of suit, 7 use of suit, 9 3 of suit, 9 4 of suit, and that's about it. Like really just a few. You have great odds. You are not super deep, so you have an easier time defending. So for example, you flop something like a pair plus gut shot plus an overcard, or just a gotshot and an overcard. You may even want to check jam if you think your opponent c-bets too wide. If you happen to run into like top pair with better kicker, then you don't lose 100 big blind like with deeper stack, but you just lose 20 big blinds, which is still your tournament life, but it's not theoretically, it's not as big a mistake as with deep stacks. With deep stacks, your opponent can like put real pressure on you, leveraging his not advantage, his high pocket pairs, etc. So you will have a harder time realizing your equity. But with shallow stacks, you
Okay. Yeah.
don't suffer from this. So this would be a fine call. Yeah, and switching back to this one. Yeah. All right. And a few matches, and then 7 use suited.
Interesting.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, like
Probably got pretty good alt pre. Yeah.
like um and there is a shorter guy with some bounty on his head, and you have a suited hand. you probably want to complete, but it's not the end of the world to fold. I think
But like
completion,
6-1 or something. Yeah.
yeah, like
So I can see that, but yeah.
yeah, like it's not a huge mistake, but calling is probably better. It saves you
Okay. Yeah.
like 100 chips or so. All right, let's see this one. Yeah, this is a tricky one. The big blind is a competent guy. He's a good guy from Brazil. I talked to him a few times. Great dude, and he has a big stack.
His name reads familiar. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, Douglas Santos, I guess. He may rejam some on you, but as far as I remember, he's not on this hyper aggro side, so I think he will not rejam too much against an early position open. And there are quite a few guys who you want to play against.
Yeah,
So
we cover a lot of people. Yeah.
yeah, so I think min raising is probably fine, and yeah, he can exploit you probably with some rejams, but still a good open. With shallow stacks, when most of the table are shallow, then you want to mainly open ace x hands and king x hands and high card hands rather than like 9-8 suited or 10-9 suited or stuff like that.
There will not be any post-flop play, right? So it's,
it's
or
more
not much.
More important to block their rejamming ranges and get the steal through. Yeah. But I totally understand that playing on 6 tables or 8 tables and chatting with your audience, etc.
Streaming makes it tough to to pay attention to everything, of course, but it's a trade-off I happily make because the streaming is awesome. So
yeah. This is an interesting spot. I don't think jamming is like super great. If we convert these $25 into chips, then we agreed that $10 bounty was worth 1,500. So 2.5x 1,500 is
4K.
Close to 4K, 37 and a half hundred. So that's probably not enough to compensate for his occasional calls. So I think we still want to play, and actually your call looks pretty scary because it looks a little bit like you are inviting the short stack to just jam on you and him isolating. So I don't think any of them will be like super crazy. And one big advantage of the limp is that you are going to get a lot of respect, a lot of credit on king high flops, queen high flops, and you will be able to execute very, very cheap 1BB C bets, and you will get a ton of folds on those textures, and also ace high flops you will get a lot of credit on. So this may sound crazy, and probably Jack 5 suited is not a limp, but we can check once again like what solvers suggest with like 17 big blind first from the button.
Interesting. I almost never limp, so I should maybe add that to my game there.
Yeah, like with 17 big blinds, the solvers, the Monker solutions, they suggest quite a lot of limp. Actually, yellow is open limping and blue is min raising. So you barely see any min raising with 17 big blinds from the button and from the cutoff. So this was the button strategy, and this is the cutoff strategy, and you barely see any min raising. You just see open gems and limps, which is quite new, and some very advanced pros apply this, but many pros like they have like diverse feeling about this. Like it's not macho or I don't know what the exact reason is. You're a little bit frozen. Is internet great or
I lost my
okay.
Am I still here?
Yeah, you're back.
Okay, cool. My computer just had a stutter moment.
Okay.
It's fine.
All right. Uh, I'm not sure what the reason is behind not implementing this strategy by many of them, but I try to implement this. I use this and I had great success with open limping. Especially this is useful in high ICM situations where you cannot like very lightly raise call with medium aces or medium pocket pairs, etc. So your raise calling range is very narrow, but you should still like to play a lot of hands from the button. And in that case, against aggressive guys, open limping can be extremely profitable, and it's actually very easy to play. Many of the guys behind you will push a lot on you with hands they should not push against. So let's see, like for example, with against a 20 BB button open limp, they should do this from the big blind. So they should push the small pocket pairs and medium pocket pairs. They will do this. No, that's correct. They should push most of the offsuit aces. They will do this. That's fine. Aces, they will probably not do this. So this is probably not correct. Yeah, my assistant just warning me to let you stream from 9 o'clock, which is fine. We will
Oh
discuss.
yeah,
Okay, so
it doesn't matter how precisely the time we enter. That's not.
yeah,
It'll be fine.
and but the problem starts when we take a look at the suited aces. The solver says that they should mainly check their suited aces, at least the medium and small suited aces, but they don't do this. They are used to like fish who limps from the from the button, so they never ever expect a call. So they say that, okay, I'm just jamming my ace suited and I'm picking the pot and the hand is over. And this will not happen if they run into you, because you will have a lot of like trappy lanes as well, where ace suited will perform pretty poorly. And also they are supposed to check most of this, or basically all the suited broadways and all the offsuit broadways, or almost all the offsuit broadways, but they tend to jam these for the same reason as they jam ace deuce suited. So they basically cut the top of their range, which in that case they win 1 BB from you, not 2, just 1. And in all the cases when they don't jam, you are just like, you remember have you played any what's the name of Grand Theft Auto? Have you played any?
Need for Speed a long time ago.
Yeah.
Not.
There was a mode in Grand Theft Auto when it was Kill Frenzy mode or something like that, when you were allowed to kill other guys without, or do any crime without the police coming after you.
Okay, yeah.
This is basically what happens when you got to post flop against these guys who use all their strong and medium hands to jam pre-flop. And then whenever a 10
They're too
or
weak for flop, yeah.
yeah, and whenever a 10 or higher card comes on the flop, on the turn, or on the river, you will have a lot of very successful bluffs to run against them, because their range will be generally very, very, very weak. And also they should jam hands like 9-8 suited, 9-7 suited, 10-7 suited, and they don't really do this. They are just happy to take a flop. But the big advantage of jamming these hands is that they can fold a lot of your marginal limps, like Queen 10 of suit, Jack 10 of suit. If you limp and they jam, you definitely fold. So they win quite significant EV by jamming this. And if you happen to trap them with ace king suited, ace queen suited, and stuff like that, then they perform okay. So they should jam these, but they don't do this. And also, although none of the hands are like weighted towards this non all-in out of position bluff isolation, you can see quite a few hands with low frequency raises to 4x, and they don't do this at all, never, basically. So when you limp and you face a 4x isolation, 99% of the times you are running into these hands. So you actually have to limp fold quite a lot, even against the 4x. But they don't do this. They don't exploit you by using these kind of one high card, one low card offsuit combinations to run some bluffs against you. So whenever they make a bluff, they go all in, which is not a way to punish you for your open limping, because you will have strong hands to open limp. But
I see.
yeah, so this is basically the strategy behind open limping, and this is probably a fine spot to actually open limp at this, and it will look relatively strong. Like as I mentioned, you can sometimes open limp some monsters to trap this guy in and trap this guy in as well to isolate the short stack, and yeah, it's fine, and then you will get a lot of credit. Open jamming is probably not profitable.
From which big blinds would you start limping, like 20 or even higher?
Yeah, like if there is ICM consideration, like very aggressive chip leader on the big blind, then I can imagine like in a final table bubble with like second stack or third stack, I can see myself open limping with like 30 big blind even. But normal circumstances, I tend to open limp around 20 big blind and lower.
Yeah, okay. It's something to work on. We're gonna try it tonight. I will limp something.
Yeah, like it's definitely fun, and yeah, I wrote a blog post about this.
Okay.
If you are interested in this, like the blog of Check This Side is a separate website. Check This
Yeah, I
Side
looked at it.
blog.com. And
I had a brief look.
I try to share as many strategy posts there as possible. For example, here is this open limping from the button, and you can see like the detailed breakdown with some like PIO analysis, but just some light stuff, probably very easy to understand still. And and I also have a package of limped hands which are probably quite fine. Do you mind checking some of them, like
Yeah, sure.
how they work? Because they add quite a lot of strategy to your, like extra strategy to your game, extra level. Because for example, with this was in the final table bubble of a smaller party tournament, and yeah, raising is probably fine, but this was a decent regular on the big blind, so I don't think I can exploit him by raising wide or anything. And this guy was also fairly aggressive, so I decided to, I'm switching to passive mode, so I decided to open limp, and the small blind completed and the big blind checked. And the two benefits of this kind of open limp is that, first of all, it gives you some board coverage on the low textures. And on the other hand, if you only limp Broadway hands, then you will have like some trouble finding enough bluff combinations on high textures, high connected textures. So you need some of these hands to support your strong open limp or stronger open limps. And this is a very great texture for my overall button open limping range. So I can c-bet pretty wide, and I only need to c-bet very small, because that will get the job done most of the times. And we got a call from the small blind. The one of the big advantages of betting this small on this texture is that people tend to be unable to slow play against this small sizing. So if they happen to have some kind of two pair, then they check raise most of the times. So we will have better fold equity on the turn and on the river. So this is one of the runouts where if you don't have these kind of hands in your limping range, then you will have a very hard time finding bluff combinations, because what are your bluffs really? Like almost all the Broadways got there. Yeah, so you have tons of two pairs, some straights as well, offsuit two pairs, offsuit straights as well. Jack 9 offsuit is definitely in your range. 10 Queen 10, 10 8. Most of them are in your limping range, so you need some bluffs, and this is a good combination to run some bluffs. And on this turn, with my strong hands, I want to barrel big size, so this is a great one to add to them. I don't expect too many check raises here because my range is just too strong. So I got a call.
Looks awesome.
And
5 high, a little of fold equity needed. Yeah.
Yeah, and
you have some outs. I mean,
yeah, like the Queen river is definitely like questionable, because he can have some like Queen Jack, Queen 9 he check calls with, but he also has some 10 Jack, 10 9, Queen probably some Jack 8 as well, some 8 9, and some higher flush draws, some pair plus flush draws, like 10 plus flush draws. This is one of the few combinations which I want to bluff here. Even if I bluff all of these, like 5-4 suited and 6-5 suited, and some of these low suited connectors, I think I still under bluff this spot. So I'm very, very happy to run this, and the opponent folded. This was like marginal. For example, this is another good good example.
Yeah.
Good example how you can exploit this guy. So open limping, once again, this was some kind of final table or close to the final table, and the big blind checked. On this texture, we don't want to bet too much, because but although we have some connection with our limping range, but many of our hands are like just missed completely. So I'm fine checking this behind. On the turn, he bets. We definitely want to call. He can have a lot of like weaker draws, like Queen 9, 9 tray of suit, because he's just at the big blind. He didn't do too much. He has like the bottom 70% or bottom 80% of all the hands, and he bets. And on the river, he bets like this is the sizing which people like to bluff a lot with, 70% or between 50% and 70% of the pot. So this is one reason to call. But on the other hand, he can have a lot of random hands, like Jack 9, Jack 10, 10 tray, any 5, any 4, any busted flush draw, whatever. We don't look too strong. So once again, you can call, and he has all these offsuit combinations to barrel with.
Yeah, cool.
And you get decent odds. I'm saying like you will win like 50% of the time here overall, but you have much better odds than that. So
yeah, that's enough.
Yeah, sorry. Okay. So yeah, you can drive them into situations where you can probably make more educated guesses than they can. They are probably not really aware of their ranges. All right.
Let's go limp. Let's go limp, everybody. You heard it. You heard it here first.
Yeah, like I think given that the small the 1BB stack is all in, we can probably call, but I'm not 100% sure. Folding is probably fine as well. I don't want to waste too much talking
I
about
mean, I
this.
remember thinking about calling there, but I thought
Yeah,
8-4 offsuit is so bad. Let's just skip
yeah.
this one.
Yeah, I think it's fine to fold.
We'll probably call like 90% of our range there, but yeah.
Yeah, this one, once again, like there is already 8,000 ish in the pot. Your opponent has a random range, and against a random range, this hand will probably perform good enough to just jam. I'm not a big fan of this, and it's probably very borderline. I probably put it in. If we are in the bubble or close to the bubble, then folding is fine. Once again, very questionable, so no big deal.
Okay, yeah. That would be cool if you could see how far the money is away in the current hand that you are
Yeah,
previewing. So you
we
can know the ICM spots.
we I already had a talk with Shardscope, the leader, the CEO of Shardscope, and they said that if Check the Site performs well and becomes really popular, like now we have around 4,000 users, but if it goes much bigger than this, then they are ready to serve us with like this kind of metadata, like
Oh yeah,
uh,
the tournaments. That's awesome. Yeah.
yeah, what stage of the tournament we are in, and that will be like really cool. That suddenly we can display the final table with the final table design and stuff like that. Yeah, it will
Cool.
be great.
Awesome.
Okay,
Right.
Queen user.
Ina says doing that already. It works. I see in chat.
Excuse me.
In chat, somebody says it's already working. I don't know if it's referring to the payout.
The Shardscope support, no, it's not implemented yet. We are just talking about it.
Okay.
Maybe in the middle of the year or later in the year.
Oh, the limping. Yeah. I was talking about the limping. It's a different subject.
Okay. Yeah, Queen use offsuit. I probably open fold this. We don't have fold equity and we have a weaker than average hand. I think folding is just better. We never ever fold out anything, and yeah, but obviously we have some kind of odds as well. It cannot be a big losing play, but I think just folding is a little bit better. But
Okay.
not if your opponent is with the dominated holding and you can actually hold as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. For our tournament live.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right. Yeah, somehow you have to put money in the pot here. Probably calling is best. 3-betting is good as well. He has relatively big bounty, so you are probably okay 3-betting and going with this guy if necessary. He will probably open a little bit wider than normal, so 3-betting is probably fine. My first instinct was to just call, but 3-betting is also great. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I was afraid I folded or something.
No. But actually, this was one of the new elements of these Monka ranges. Like back in the days when I started in 2005, if someone called here, was immediately tagged as a fish who is just calling from the small blind and what a lame thing to do and, and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And like
yeah.
back in the days in 2009 and 2008, poker was about like pre-flop wars, like 3-betting, 4-betting, 5-betting, 8-betting, and folding and stuff like that. But nowadays, it is more about like protecting your equity and not putting too much money into the pot without with folding at the end. So realizing your equity is a big deal.
Yeah, I never did those 5-betting wars. I skipped those.
Okay. Yeah, like I would go with a smaller race probably, and decide.
Yeah, this is pretty big. It's 35 effective. I saw this in review that it's too big, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, and then with this guy with $144 on his head will probably not go super wide against you. If he jams, you probably have a comfortable fold. Actually, he's a student of mine, a great dude.
Okay, cool.
Very skilled player. Like he's a recreational, but plays much better than some recreationals I know. So,
Yeah. Semi-pro. I call myself as well semi-pro.
yeah. Okay. This is just probably some sizing differences, but no big deal. And let's go with this one. Yeah, I think we have to put the chips in against 6 big blind. I think that's fine.
I guess I folded.
Yeah, there is already like an addition of 15,000 or 16,000 in the pot, so almost half his stack, and some bounty as well. So I think this is a fine.
And we cover the big blind as well, is in case he calls. You have some extra equity.
Yeah, like, but the big blind is
like
not super deep either. So that's another reason to just go with this. I'm not saying it's like printing money, but probably profitable and not affecting too big portion of your stack, because you have a bowler stack here.
Cool.
Okay, let's see pocket sixes. Yeah, tricky one. By the way, you can switch on and off these starting stack labels by clicking on the big blind value in the bottom right corner of the replayer, in case you shoot a video or something. Just a short note. And yeah, opening is fine. And we got one call. And on
I don't remember what happened here.
Yeah, like c-betting out of position is always very tricky. If like my rules of thumb is that if there are two broadways, like no ace, no king broadways, then you probably do better or good enough by checking your entire range. So on queen 10x, queen jack x, or even just jack 9x, you probably do fine by checking your entire range. On dry ace and king high textures, like ace 4 deuce, king 7 deuce, or stuff like that, there you can see bet quite a lot, especially for as an early position opener. And on low textures like 6 deuce deuce, 9 4 4, stuff like that, you probably want to see bet quite a lot and quite often with big sizing. But this exact texture is a mixture of the two Broadway combination and the ace high combination. So you want to see bet some, but when you see bet, you want to see bet quite big size to put pressure on his marginal draws, like queen jack and jack 10 and queen 10 and those kind of holdings, and some weaker backdoor draws like king 10 of diamond. If you see bet small, he probably calls and probably will realize equity pretty efficiently. If you see bet bigger, then he will struggle realizing any equity. With this holding, I don't know. I probably check. It's pretty close. I don't expect too much of immediate fold equity on the rainbow texture. Well, I decided to see bet. I think checking is better a little bit. You are very often ahead, but it will be extremely hard to drive this into showdown. So I think it's just better to check and give it up.
Yeah, it's hard to find turns to barrel on, right? If you get called.
Yeah, like
because you have showdown value, but yeah, you don't want to build a big pot.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah, like once again, this is going to be a be too advanced and probably unnecessary thing to the lowest stakes. But on these kind of textures, when there are three high cards connected and the flush draw on the turn, and surprisingly, your best triple barrel combinations are going to be hands which have zero equity and zero connection to the board, because rather than trying to block the straight or block the two pairs, you do better by assuming that two pairs, and straights are going to call you no matter what. And you want to pick some hands like low pocket pairs and stuffs like that, which sometimes can hit the two outer, but that's not really the main reason why you want to barrel. But rather you want to keep all the 10-9, 8-10, Jack-10, these kind of pair plus open-enders and pair plus flush draws in, and then fire a very efficient river barrel by folding many of these out on a blank river. So I'm not sure if this is the way to go here, because you have a big stack in a soft tournament. You probably don't want to do this, but that's an option to do. You have some sets, you have some two pairs you actually want to barrel here. So if you want to support them or back them with some bluffs, then you generally want to use some of your lowest pocket pairs. If you happen to see bet this, then probably this is an okay one to go with. I'm not saying it's in sprinting money, but especially in with the carefully selected sizings, like half pot on the turn, to make sure that all the Jack-10 combinations, all the 10-9 combinations, all the pair plus flush draw combinations, and even some weaker pair plus gut shot combinations like Queen Jack and 8-7 and stuffs like that. If you can keep those in, then on the blank river you probably have a profitable triple barrel with a moderate sizing like half pot or so. Then he will have a hard time defending against that one. It's up to you. I would only do this in a stronger field where the opportunity cost of such move is not super high, like in a low stakes tournaments in a soft field. You probably, even if this move is profitable, you want to pass on it and go for a softer spot and make money more easily. I would.
Okay.
I just mark this as a optional move. And if we got here, once again, we can consider.
Okay, I gave up. I see. Yeah.
We can consider turning this into a bluff sometimes, because we have some we have every reason to believe that any hand like ace 10 or better is a winning combination. So we want to value bet with those. Or ace jack, ace queen is definitely good enough. We have some trappy checks on the turn probably. So this is probably the weakest hand we get here, and we want to turn this into a bluff sometimes. I'm not sure if he folds these, but he definitely folds 10 8 suited, 10 9 suited. I think that's reasonable to assume. But obviously, this is very easy to miss these moves, like massively multi-tabling or streaming as well.
Yeah, I don't go that crazy. I play usually like 4 tables, but still, it's very easy to miss things, of course.
Yeah. This is just a check the side bug that it doesn't take the effective stack into consideration. So the sizing difference.
Just got all in here.
Yeah, it's indicated in the.
We agreed.
Yeah, we basically agreed.
Good stuff.
Yeah. All right. So the next one is this. What's your hobby, by the way? Other than poker, do you have any?
Well, besides poker and Twitch, not much at the moment, but I like Go. It's a board game, Asian board game. I've been playing that also for like 15, 20 years. Try to slowly get better a bit at it. And I watch television, darts. I'm a big darts fan.
Okay.
Cycling, things like that. Yeah.
Van Herwen or?
Yeah, well, no, I'm not even a big fan of. I like if the Dutch win, but I also like some Scottish players like Anderson and Peter Wright. So yeah, not only the Dutch.
Okay, great. All right.
And you then? Yeah, you don't have time for hobbies, right?
At this moment, no. But yeah, like when I will have some time beside check this side and yeah, first of all, I will get back to the grind because I miss poker a lot. Like I reviewed hundreds of tournaments with check this side already for my students, so I really am
Yeah,
eager to play and test my skills again.
I can
But
imagine. Yeah,
yeah, and also some live tournaments I would like to play. But yeah, other than that, I just love traveling. 2 years ago, we moved to Spain, close to Valencia, and it's a marvelous country, really really big country with a lot of different places to see. Like huge mountains very close to us, the sea very close to us, and also some big cities like Madrid. Obviously, a lifetime is not enough to explore.
yeah, cool.
And yeah, Portugal is relatively close, so we can go on a road trip one day. I can't wait for the lockdown to be over, and then we will see. But yeah, driving, talking with my wife, having a mug of coffee in the car. That's that's probably my favorite activity.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
With
Oh, yeah.
you.
I forgot to mention. I was also a bartender for a long time, but yeah, with lockdown now, it's not really happening, of course.
Ah,
But
okay.
yeah, I would love to go back at that for like one day a week.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah. I can imagine that being great. Especially if are you in a smaller town or a bigger one?
Well, 150K inhabitants. It's like a medium town in the
Uh-huh.
Netherlands.
Yeah. So I guess you know most of the guys. They are kind of regulars there, right?
In the bar, well, in the bar where I work, I've been working there for like a year. So yeah, I know most of the regulars now.
Uh-huh.
But I had more fun working in the student bar actually, and I still have contact with a lot of those still. That's for more than 10 years already. So yeah, I've made a relationship with lots of those regulars. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
they also
Okay.
come to that new bar, so that's cool. But yeah, it's been a while, so we hope it's possible again in the summer or something.
Yeah. I also like board games.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like since we moved from Hungary to Spain, we didn't have much opportunity to play board games because my like brother-in-law is a big board game fan and he stayed in Hungary. But maybe after the lockdown we will visit them and check some new board games, strategy games, you know, Risk and the improved versions of Risk. I really like that.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, I'm recently also a little bit more into chess again because of one of my moderators also streams it, and
Uh-huh.
it's also fun, man. It's you cannot learn everything, but I would also like to become better at chess at some point. But
Yeah, like
it's hard to study poker, chess, and Go. You know.
yeah, like the good thing about poker is that if you really commit a few years to poker, you can still get very close to the elite level. But with chess, that's not really the case. Like
Yeah. Well, I'm not expecting to. No.
yeah, like so if you're a competitive person, I'm not sure if chess is for you. Poker is much more. Yeah, actually, I'm just thinking about like maybe darts is similar in a way that it's not too late to start playing darts, probably. But other than these two sports, many of the other sports, you cannot get to the highest level. You don't have like realistic chance to get to the highest level.
Yeah, with Go, I'm already too late as well.
Yeah,
You have to like be a 12-year-old Japanese dude, and then you can have a chance.
yeah.
I'm way too late. But yeah, I still enjoy playing it, so that's important too.
I'm a pretty good goalkeeper, but I think even if I do my best the rest of my life, I will not be Petr Cech or
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
whoever the best goalkeeper is. Who is the best goalkeeper nowadays? Like David De Gea? No.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm not so much into soccer, so
no, no. Oh, okay. Uh,
I'm not an expert on that field.
yeah. Chet. Who do you think the best goalkeeper nowadays in like worldwide?
It was Van der Sar always, right? The Dutch dude.
Excuse me?
In my Van der Sar was always very good.
Yeah, Van der Sar, yeah, but he's
Edwin van der
retired
Sar, yeah.
for ages, yeah.
Yeah, I know, but that's the name I could come up with.
Yeah, there is how is it
Chet knows
called,
this.
the goalkeeper of Atletico Madrid, who is that, then
Yeah, no idea. Sorry.
like Slovenia, from Slovenia, or whatever. I think that guy is the best. But we also have an extremely good Hungarian goalkeeper, Peter Gulacsi, in one of the German teams. But yeah, whatever. I will not be one of them. Unfortunately, it's too late.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, let's get back to this spot. We open from this from middle position, completely fine. We have a big stack. We have every right to do so, and we got a call from the small blind from the other medium stack. What do you think of the calling range here?
From the small blind. Oh, you are muted now for me. What the hell?
Yeah, Jano Black.
I hear you again. Sorry.
Jano Black is the guy in the Atletico Madrid, and yeah.
Black. Okay, never heard of it.
He's probably one of the best. But whatever. Yeah. So I think we agree that the small blind has a lot of like suited broadways, some offsuit broadways as well, and suited aces, and maybe some pocket pairs as well. But many of them he just rejams pre-flop. Also, many of the suited aces he rejams, but some of them he calls with. Very, very borderline. You have to be very, very careful c-betting on this texture against the small blind. On a king 8 tray flop, where there is no gut shot to continue with, then I would like a tiny c-bet. On this texture, I'm not sure. The problem with the queen of clubs is that you block some of the auto folds of your opponent, but not really too much. He probably still has enough ace-x combinations to try one street bluff, and especially if he calls with hands like pocket fives, pocket fours, pocket sixes, and doesn't rejam them, then I think we can have one profitable c-bet here. Very borderline.
But if we have the queen of diamonds, then it will be much greater.
Yeah, because then he doesn't have too many combo draws to check raise all with, and also you don't block his auto folds or his easiest folds too much. So yeah.
I did check. Cool.
Yeah, I mean it's really close. I would check behind queen 10 of hearts, because that would be like additional equity I would like to play out, and then I could call on many turns. But with this one, I think c-betting mid-size, putting a lot of pressure on some of the jack 10 hands, and like hands like pocket sixes, not to automatically check call, but check fold sometimes. I think this kind of sizing is probably good, but checking is also okay. The problem with checking is that you have to fold here. Also, like if you put this into a solver, the solver may says that we have to check here, but the solver also assumes that the small blind will check raise all his king queen and king jack type hands, which is probably not the case in reality. Many times they just check call with those, and then you can realize equity on the turn, so you can still check it and play the river, which is good for you. And normally in situations where your opponent doesn't check raise enough, you can c-bet lighter than solvers suggest. So that's just one point. All right, premium hand on the button, and you decided to just open jam.
Oh yeah, pretty large against 27. Yeah.
Do you still like this move?
I don't. No, I don't think so. I think I would certainly open this often. I don't know.
Yeah, like I think this hand has just so much playability, so
Yeah.
much value to create pre-flop, because yeah, there are some, but even if he just rejams 25, 27 big blind with the bounty, you can decide to just raise call sometimes, because it will be very weighted towards medium pocket pairs. Many times you are going to flip, but I think still raise folding is better, because he can also have all the ace king and ace king combinations, and you are not really going to be ahead too much. But
we have to call the small blind, right? If they jam.
yeah, against the small blind, it's a very happy happy raise call. And against the big blind, if he happens to rejam, which he will not do super wide, then we may fold. But much more often, he will just call, and then we created a big pot with a super strong hand, a lot of playability, a lot of potential bearing on the turn. Many times he will call with dominated hands, and we can win a huge pot with just a single top pair. So I would not miss this opportunity, and I think this move is a little bit barbaric, to be honest.
Yeah, looking back at it, I totally agree. So that's
yeah, maybe you were like close to timing out, or just got back
I think I
from.
was just going wild for the bounties. I think I overestimate that value, and then just bam, get it in.
Yeah, like
yeah.
I'm not saying it's minus EV, but probably not making the maximum possible. Yeah, and this was
not losing, but not the best play. Yeah.
Yeah, and this was an interesting spot, which I have an extra chart to check these situations. Basically, how this extra chart works, I'm happy to forward this to you or to anyone. Like, join the Check the Site server, anyone in the chat, and bump me, and I'm happy to forward you this Excel. Basically, how this works.
Awesome.
I put in many like frequent regem ranges to Hodem resources calculator, and
I like numbers, but this is overdoing it.
Yeah, and I checked their equity against like basically any combination, and then I created some additional charts, etc. And then in the finder I created. So this can handle bounties as well. And first of all, we have to calculate the bounty. So we raised. There was 2.5 big blind original in the pot, or 2.4, and we got a rejam from 14 big blinds, and we are facing a decision here. And
yeah, I remember this feeling like an easy call. So that is probably just wrong.
Yeah, like we can check it. So what you have to type in is your open raise size, which was 2.15 or something like that. And then the rejam is 14 big blind. The pot before anyone put money into the pot was 2.4 big blind, and the bounty on Restealer, let's calculate together. So this is $55, which is 5.5 times the original bounty, the starting bounty.
Or something.
Yeah, so the starting bounty was worth 1,500. So this times 5.5 is somewhere around 8,000. And 8,000 is just a little bit bigger than half big blind. So this is not a bounty to really fight for.
Oh yeah, 8,000. Yeah.
So we can type in 0.6 for roughly here, and none of the players was blind, like and neither you nor him, and you have queen 10 suited. You can also check some other hands like ace jack suited, or queen jack suited, and then these kind of this is an invalid combination. So Queen 10 suited. You can see here, and you can see some potential rejam ranges, like more and more aggressive rejam ranges, and you can see the threshold number, like where this call becomes profitable, and you can see that roughly the first ranges this will become profitable is this one. Let me enlarge this. 1 second.
Oh yeah.
Oh, this just doesn't want to. I cannot enlarge because it's fixed, but maybe view first.
I can read this, but yeah, it's
okay. So
if you're on mobile, you probably won't be able to now, but
yeah. So the first range where this race call becomes profitable is the 13% range. So pocket fours, ace 7 suited, ace 9 offsuit, king jack suited, king queen offsuit. Is this realistic here? Like medium position versus an under the gun raiser?
it's probably too loose, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
I don't think it's ever like. What do you think his rejam range is here? Mostly.
Can we show the table again? Oh yeah, he had like 13 blinds, 14.
14 blinds, like no cheating with the table, because then then it like affects your guess. So what do you think? Like
yeah, it's a bit tighter than that, but I mean, I guess he would do king queen suited and ace 10 offsuit, maybe.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that's very reasonable.
And maybe 5s plus, something like that. I'm really guessing.
Yeah, but I really believe it is somewhere like this, like pocket 5s, and ace jack off, ace jack suited, ace 10 off, something like somewhere along these lines. And you can see that these are like losing race calls in these cases, but like not super bad race calls. You only lose like 2 antes roughly, but still in this field you probably don't want to make marginal race calls. And also you have to keep in mind to protect your stack position, because with this close to 40 BB stack, you will have a lot of very profitable moves to make in the future. But if you risk half of your stack or 1/3 of your stack on a marginal, slightly losing play, then you will very soon find yourself in a 20 BB spot where you will have
for sure,
more limited options in the future. So the opportunity cost of this call is probably high, and therefore I want to just fold. But let's see what like whatever, like you don't want to be result oriented, and we assume that this is in his raise calling range, but still I think raise folding is slightly better, especially considering the effect on your stack. Oh, yeah, you did it.
Yeah, nice turn.
All right.
But yeah, you have to get lucky to get to a final table, right?
Yeah, obviously, like there is nothing to be ashamed of or anything. Yeah, like how many times it happened like the other way. I
think
guess
I made quad as well on my way there.
Yeah,
it happened.
Yeah, all right. Let's see this one.
So you want to go like to halfway and maybe do another next week, or what's your plan?
Yeah, we can continue
we cannot
this.
Finish it, right? So
yeah, we can probably not finish it, and I assume that we want to. So yeah, we can actually cut this even like here, and yeah, I let you go have a session, and
yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, thanks for being here. It was great, and I'm looking forward to the next week then to continue. And yeah, I guess I should rate you, so you have to.
Oh yeah, I will go live then.
Yeah.
Give me a second. Maybe you can promote check the site for 2 minutes, and then I'll be...
yeah. I rather want to do my first successful
2
raid.
minutes, and then,
From
but I'm also on a 2 minute delay, so you have to like wait
okay.
2 minutes or something. I will dive.
Okay. So /raid.
Yeah. Before I go off,
Uh-huh. And do I have to put your name into brackets or? I unfortunately I had problem reading the chat, so unfortunately I was not super reactive to the chat. I probably have to adjust the background color for next time. And but thank you, chat, for being here. And get over to Questje's stream. He has some amazing like walking.
I'm still here, right? Am I still here? Yeah.
Yeah, you are still here. Yeah, I love your like walking figures, like obviously
Avatars, yeah.
yeah, walking avatars. Like obviously the Luigi avatar is great.
We should all become Luigi when we join.
Yeah, definitely. So you can select your avatar in your stream, like typing Luigi or avatar
Yeah,
Luigi.
if you type Avatar Luigi, then it will become a Luigi. It's
Uh-huh.
very easy. We will show you when you're there.
Uh-huh. Let me know if you are live, and then I
Yeah,
will rate it.
I will let you know. It's about a minute away.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, thanks for having me, and let's do it next week then. The rest sounds cool.
Yeah. The same time. Do you have any pets,
Yeah.
by the way? We just adopted
yeah, well, stuffed animals, but not real pets.
Okay.
I've got a bear who's called Teddy and a penguin called Tux.
Okay.
But no living animals here. It's a very small apartment. Cool.
All right.
Okay, I will sign off here then, and I'll be live in like 20 seconds.
Uh-huh.
If that's okay.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Thanks for being here.
And I'll
see you next week.
disconnect the Discord.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, chat. Bye.
Bye, everybody. See you soon.
Let's see. Questje? No. All right. So we are raiding Questje. All right, my first successful raid. Sooner or later, I will become a streamer. Anyways, if you're still here, thanks for watching, and see you next week. Bye.